さてさて、今夜も始まりましたベンスのまったり実況プレイザ・ファーストツリーその1ですね。若干これ環境音大きいかな。設定、あ、そうか、洋芸だからこれはバッテンで、てかちょっと待って、これ音量なくね。OK、じゃあまあまあいいや、行こう。はい。というわけで、じゃあもう早速ね、始めていこうかなと思います。どうでしょう。はい。あ、肉球、かわいい。
Hi, my name is David Whaley, and I'm the creator of the first tree. I also voice a character named Joseph. So I just wanted to introduce you to this commentary mode, tell you that you can find interesting things about how I made this game by touching the speech bubbles you see in the world. So I hope you enjoy it.
はい、いらっしゃい。てか、しょっぱなから英語でめっちゃ言われてたけども、なんてって感じやわ。おー、キツネちゃん。
Are you awake? I thought I heard you get up.
起き上がった音が聞こえたから。
I'm awake. Sorry, I just can't sleep.
ごめん、なんだか眠れなくてさ。
Are you thinking about him?
彼のことを考えてる。
Yeah, a bit. You should get back to sleep, my love. I'm fine.
No, it's okay. What else is on your mind?
I don't know. It seems weird, but I had one of the most vivid dreams of my life. I saw a fox on a snowy mountain, just looking confused and worried. Those eyes. I can't get those eyes out of my head. She was running in the windy snow, looking for something.
Do you think it has to do with you and what's been going on?
I don't know. It was just a dream, Rachel. They're not meant to make sense. A lot's happened the past couple days, that's all.
Well, if you're not going to sleep anyway, you should tell me. I want to hear.
All right.
あったよ。ジャンプがピョンピョンする。ジャンプとカメラのズームと引くのと引くのはこれぐらいか。それぐらいか。よし、OK。操作も大体 OK。
ジャンプシンビーってしてる。
ベーンってお前ベーンって感じ。よっしゃ。おい、3人目いらっしゃい。キツネちゃんテケテケ歩くね。テケテケテケテケ。ほう。とりあえずこれはあれかい、さっきのその夫婦が、あ、これ以上奥行けない。なるほど。よっしゃ、行ってみよう。その夫婦が見た一匹のキツネの物語なのかな。キツネちゃんダッシュとかできないのこれ。おー、できたできた。よっしゃ。じゃっじゃらーん。かわいい。シャカシャカしてる。2段ジャンプ。オッケー。おー、すげえ2段ジャンプ。おー。ぴょんぴょん。空中でステップを踏めるタイプのキツネやな。エアリアルジャンプができる。おう、キツネ。ナビさんいらっしゃい。シャッカシャッカ。はい、4人目いらっしゃい。なんか光ってんの。なんだあれ。何これ。うお、なんだ。何これ。
So it's usually at this point where people say something like, "This is not the kind of game I was expecting." And that happened a lot at PAX West when I showed it. We'd have little kids play it, but then they see a dead fox cub, or a kit is technically the word, but cub sounds, I don't know, it sounds better. Like Wes Anderson uses it in Fantastic Mr. Fox, so I thought cub would be alright. But anyway, having this game, I wanted it to be more serious. This game's based on dealing with the death of my father which is the hardest thing that's ever happened to me and my family. But I don't want to talk about it here, and I didn't want to talk about it with anybody really to this day still. It's very personal. And that's why I made this game. That's exactly the reason. Because I wanted to get those feelings out and like communicate with people without like talking about it. And so that's what the first tree is. It's me dealing with my feelings, and it was a personal project, and it was just me, and it actually, like, I'm really glad I made it, but it wasn't easy to make, I guess is what I'm saying.
So, not far from her home, she followed that path to something unexpected. She couldn't stay though. She had to find her other 2 children, so she took that path. She followed it towards something ancient, something with answers. The fox looked high and low, searching for any sign of her cubs. Points of light showed the way to this ancient tree. It was as if each one had a story to tell, all their own. The land was trying to tell my story too. I felt like I was right behind her the whole time.
これ？ああ、集めていけばいいんだね。またなんか光ってる。なんだ。てかちょっと待ってよ、これ BGM の設定とか全然ないんだけど大丈夫かこれ。なんかまた光ってるのゲッチュ。なんだ。ウサギだ。ゲッチュしない。狩りしてくれない。なんだ。
The bunnies were added because my wife, Elise, who also voices Rachel in the game, who's also helped a ton to make the game, as we were playing, she just said the world felt kind of empty and not alive enough. So I knew we needed to add some kind of life, and so the bunnies was like the first idea that came to mind. And like most of the game, I used like publicly available assets to speed up production because I was working full-time along with making this game, and we just had our first baby, a little girl named Evelyn. So I was messing with this asset called Herd Sim, and at one point, like the generation script that creates variations of the sizes of the bunny. One time I got out of control and it made like this monster bunny that towered over everybody. And I shared that GIF on Imager and Reddit, and that was a huge hit. It helped definitely gain an audience for this game. But it's hard because this game is like so serious. It's about life and death, not giant bunnies. But I knew I needed something, like a shout out to that, because it was pretty fun. So if you're able to catch all the bunnies on this map, I think there's around 13, then you'll get a special surprise. So good luck.
Do you remember what my dad did for a living?
Wasn't he like a lumberjack?
That's one way of putting it. If wood was a canvas, then a carving knife was his paintbrush. Even after working a 50-hour week, even after his hands were more splinters than skin, he would bring home the nicest piece of Alaskan weeping cedar and make me toys. That wooden train was the first toy I can remember, and I loved it. I just knew from a young age I was going to be a lumberjack, like my father.
ここに置いてあるんですけどみたいな。っていうかね、ボーナストラックが全力で英語っていうの。ひたすらなんかウサギの話してることしかわからなかったよ。
タイムカプセル
埋まってんのか？ 壮大な BGM がだいぶうるさいけど、これ設定がないのは難儀やな。なんか光ってるぞ。今度はなんだ。よいしょ。滞空時間が長い。よし。さて、お次は光る場所があればいいけれど、あっちなんか光ってんな。よっしゃ。てかめっちゃ晴れてんのにめっちゃなんか雨の音してるし、なんだなんだ。頑張れ。てか小狐をあと2匹探せとか言ってたやんな。ほんでわからんな。とりあえずあっち行ってみようか。なんか光ってる。マップが広すぎてどこ行ったらええかもわからへんな。なんだ突然暗くなった。おお、雪なくなった。なに季節巡っちゃった。あれ、光消えちゃった。あ、折れる。
My teenage years were full of sketching,
冬越し
angst,
たね。
and
何こ
trouble.
れ。
I wasn't popular or
スケッ
unpopular.
チ、ドクロ。
Maybe
なんだ
just
なんだ。
forgettable. I guess that gave me a sense of freedom. So I hung out with
なんでこん
crazy
なん埋まってるん。
kids, doing crazy things, even though I mostly just watched the chaos ensue.
蝶々。
We did it all. Put fireworks in mailboxes, hide roadkill in people's garages, break windows of the barber shop in Anchorage. My dad was furious, but he was so busy working he couldn't do much to stop me from going out.
あ、落ちた。
I think being an adult means there's no one to stop you making hard decisions. He had to make a living, and he couldn't be in two places at once.
Yeah, I realize that now. But at the time, I was sure he was more interested in growing his business than what was going on with me.
This is the level that I showed at PAX West, which was a crazy dream come true that this hobby project was being shown next to all these amazing indie games. So I decided to show this level because it's smaller, there's like some jumping puzzles, and I thought it was a good entry into the game. But the one thing I can't seem to forget is right before we open to the public, there is an indie dev superstar. Like, you've definitely heard of his games, and I was like terrified. He wanted to try it out, so I said, of course, like, please give me your feedback. And he was super nice, super talented, of course. But this embarrassing bug happened, which I'd never seen before in my life, where when he dug the item up, he jumped right after, and it created the dust cloud to permanently be on the rest of the level. It wouldn't turn off. So it looked like this fart cloud following the fox as it just kept running with this beautiful music and serious voiceover. And it was just, it was horrible. I
なんかついてき
think
た。
about that
なんだ
every
なんだ
time I look at this level.
蝶
But,
々。
you know, I was able to fix it, so I'm glad someone could at least find that bug.
なんかわからんけど、うおー、なんだなんだなんだなんだなんだなんだなんだなんてなんて、どういうことどういうこと。え、ジャンプしたらなんか、あ、旋風が巻き起こる。なんか新しい装備やなこれ。ちょっと待って、どういうこと。ああ落ちた。
ファンがついた。
なんだなんだ、どうしたらいいんだこれは。よっしゃ。でこれを取ればいいのか。距離がわからない。そう、あまりにも英語で多分ねいろいろ説明してるんだろうけど全然わかんないよねっていう。よっしゃ。オッケー。これ装備した状態でジャンプさえしなければ連れていけるかな。何これ、黒板。地図かな。アザーライト、現在地どこ。なんだろう、何の黒板。誰かがここにいた痕跡はあるけれど、車だ。え、これパトカーじゃねえ。何、行方不明者でもいたの。よし。お、蝶々すぐ向こう戻るやん。なんかまた光ってるし、どうしようか、そっち行ってみようか。
I always wanted this game to be very meditative and relaxing, but I know there's a balance between keeping the player's interest. So I added this butterfly jumping mechanic just to like spice things up. I used a plugin called Playmaker for Unity, which in a visual editor lets you do interactive things, which is perfect for me because I do come from a film and design background. But on the flip side, I really wish I was good at code, because this jumping mechanic, the jumping mechanic in the whole game actually has frustrated a lot of players. But hopefully I've been able to fine-tune it, so it should feel a lot better now. I would just hate that this meditative game would get frustrating, so I've definitely I've lowered the gravity, I've made the jumps more consistent, so hopefully people can just focus on the world and the story.
なんかわからんけどめっちゃジャンピングって言ってることだけは分かった。なんだあれ、のろし。あれはなんだなんだ、これ落ちて大丈夫か。お、なんだこれは。チラシ。なんかあっちこっちに紫の光が。なあれは。あ、これまたあれですね。ハイパージャンピング蝶々やね。とー、よいしょ、あれ。ちょっと。よいしょ。とー、わー。よいしょ。上がれた。で。だから何って話やな。なんだよ。
may have noticed there's a little pond here, and believe it or not, I tried everything I could to get swimming working in this game, and I just could not do it, unfortunately. And so all the water in this game you can just stand in, which is, it still like bums me out, but the systems were not working, it was buggy. So I just had to throw it out, which, you know, I think it's okay. Like, I wish it was there, but again, the focus of this game is on the story.
これちょっと待って。どうすんねんこれ。なんすわからんけど、まあまあええわ。とりあえずあっちやったな。
ハイパージャンピング蝶々。
そう、ハイパージャンピング蝶々。もうなんかわからんけど、何のためにやんのかもわからんけど。これ上がれるかな、ハイパージャンピング蝶々で。何、蝶々3つも集めてこいって、そういうこと？あ、そういうこと。しかもこれジャンプしちゃうと蝶々が消えるから、ジャンプしないように3つ集めなあかんやな。ってことは上からやな。難儀。蝶々の重ね掛けとかできるん？へえ。バフか。もう一応ジャンピングのバフやな。
バスか。
よいしょー。とりあえず1匹ゲットで、ジャンプしないように上がれるところを探して、2匹目。蝶々増えてモフモフしてるけど、なんだこれジャンプせずにどうやって上がるんや。上がれなくないか、そんな。ごめんか、頑張れ。ジャンプせずに上がるんや。ほー、よっしゃー。強そう、めっちゃ強そう。やばない、今だかつてこんなに蝶々に囲まれてるキツネ、俺ら見たことないよ。なんか光ってるしな、すげえな。よっしゃ行こう。
My friends would laugh about that night and talk about how crazy it was.
ファントム
And I
蝶
laughed
々。
along, pretending it didn't bother me. But it did. I imagined my friends growing old in the bush, unable to find that thrill in those godforsaken ice fields. It's like those mountains were a literal
のことも
wall,
ファントム
keeping me
で
from
空飛んで
leaving,
たからな。いけ
where
るい
all
け
I
る。
would have to look forward to are lumber yards and
頑張れ。
evening beers.
よいしょー。
I had to climb over.
ちょっと待って、無理だった
That
よ。
was my only
無
goal
理じ
for
ゃ
a
ねえ。
long time.
もう一回？嘘やろ、ちょっと。やだもう。相変わらずこのね、2段ジャンプのタイミングがうまくいかないよね。ファントム蝶々もう一回集め直しや。よっしゃ、大丈夫。もう上がれるとこ覚えたからな。謎にあちこち蝶々がいると思ったらそういうことやってんな。この辺頑張れ、頑張るんだ。 頑張るんだ。どっかその辺で上がれたやろ。おっしゃおっしゃおっしゃ、ジャンプしたい。めちゃめちゃジャンプしたい。そういけ、上がれ。よっしゃ、いけいけ、よっしゃ。さあリベンジや。今度こそ上がれますように。もう一回集めるのはおいらもう嫌やで。よいしょほいしょほいしょ。無理じゃねえ。これ絶対無理じゃねえ。高さ的に全然足んねえじゃん。蝶々積んできた状態でトゥルントゥルンしてるけど、これちなみに蝶々なくても上がれたりしひん。よいしょよいしょよいしょ。キツネ頑張るんだ。飛ぶんだ飛ぶんだ。よっしゃ頑張れ。よしよし上がるんだ。ドゥルンドゥルンしてる。ちょっとゴリ押しで超えれるやないかーい。蝶々なくてもなんとかなるやないかーい。なんだファントム蝶々いらなかったな。よっしゃ。
If there was some way I could take my love of drawing and turn it into a way of escape, nothing would make me happier. I wanted to create instead of tearing trees down. I wanted to move to the lower 48, not because I hated it there in Alaska, but I hated the idea of it. It's like all of that spite inside me had created this monster which followed me around my whole teenage years. I put so much energy into doing what others didn't expect of me. Why did I do that?
There's one fact you're forgetting, though. If you didn't have that fire in you, we probably would have never met.
You're absolutely right. Maybe the destination is all that matters in the end. But then why am I awake? Why am I seeing this fox go on her journey? And why can't I stop thinking about my dad?
なんや突然始まったローディングなんだよ。今度ここどこ？何これ？とりあえず光る柱。あちらもう一個向こうもあるな。
I did want to do something a little different with this level. I wanted it to be more open world feel, and that there was something blocking your progress, so it did encourage people to look closely and see how to unlock this blocked way. And I do like just walking around this level and listening to the beautiful music by Josh Kramer. His work really sets the mood for the whole game.
なんか光が。
I don't think the first tree could work at all without the music by Josh Kramer.
ぴょんぴょんしてる。
And his music, it's actually publicly available to license, and so it was affordable for me since this was a hobby project.
何これ
And it's something I like to tell new indie developers all the time, like, you can't afford that composer, you can't afford a full-time programmer. You need to cut corners and finish your game, and the way to do that is to use these amazing publicly available assets that anyone can purchase and license. And so his music is incredible, and I actually haven't talked to him that much, I've just emailed him. But his music was nominated for Most Emotional Music at the Emotional Game Awards in France, and he's just a really nice guy. And I think there's so much amazing content out there that if you're thinking of making a game, like, look around and see what you can make work on a tight budget, because it worked really well for the first tree.
Even at my most distant, at the times when I detested him the most, he kept reaching out. For a year straight, he asked me every week when we were going camping. I thought he was just dense. Eventually, to shut him up, I agreed. He carried out the worn lawn chairs from the garage and set up a cinder block campfire at the site we'd always used behind the house. We walked down the mountain path, talking in the warm sunshine we only got a couple months of the year. Those 3 obsidian rocks shimmered alongside the shore, almost like sparklers pressed against a dark window. I'll never forget that wet stone on my feet, or how those massive mountains looked even bigger in the lake's reflection. I felt small, but grateful. As the sun set, my dad found something I hadn't seen for a long time. The tree where I'd made my first carving when I was 6. I hadn't even carved it. My dad had helped me, but I still called it my tree. Something about seeing my name there made me open up, and we talked about everything that night in that old camouflage tent. I told him how much I loved sketching and design, and how it would be a dream to study architecture in Seattle. I told him how I didn't get along with my friends much anymore, but that I didn't mind being alone. He told me he was there for me, and he joked that if all he had to do was write my name on a tree to finally get me to talk, he would have left me carved logs with novels on them in front of my room every morning. I don't know why it took me that long to realize it, but it was then I knew how much he had sacrificed for me. On our property, there were old abandoned pieces of a shed and car long left unused. I used to ask him all the time who those people were that left all this junk, and I'm sure he got so tired of hearing it that he made up some elaborate stories how a brown bear ate them and haunted the woods afterwards. What's funny is I think it made those people seem more real. Growing up thinking they're still hanging out like they couldn't say goodbye. I used to tell my friends how I could swear I saw spirits move near the water, and that always freaked them out. I guess it didn't bother me, because the way I saw it, they were normal people with old cars and sheds, just trying to figure out how to survive and be happy in the middle of nowhere. It was a cool thought that they didn't want to leave, but you know, I was a weird kid.
Well, you had good company since those ghosts like living in a place where they were brutally devoured.
あと1個やな。てかめっちゃ喋るやん、英語の人。何の話か全く分からへんかったけど、とりあえずお父さんの話やな。あと1個どこだ。あちこちで見かける光の玉は一体何なんやろな。何これ。紙。 このキツネくんは一体何を探してたん？あっちこっちスキップさせられまくってるけど。引っ張ってる石があるということは、この辺で一応ルートを間違ってなさそうな。ボートある。
Earlier I said I just love going through video games and exploring, like looking at every nook and cranny and just trying to find little details. And I think that started because in middle school and high school, I would make mods for my favorite games, namely Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast, and Far Cry. And I loved like this huge world of mod makers who would make these levels, and it'd be like the most random creative things, and I would just love exploring, usually multiplayer levels by myself. So even though I went to college for film, before that, like before high school, I was making video games and mods, and it was my favorite thing in the world. I made a ton of different levels. I made an abandoned space hotel with a dance floor and cafeteria. I made a haunted campground with cabins and tents. I made this whole city with like the first ever day-night cycle with running showers and stuff in the hotel and the apartment buildings. And I just loved making those mods, and I think that carries over to my game, The First Tree, and also the one before that, Home is Where One Starts, which is it's exploration. You're just looking around and appreciating the details.
We were happiest underneath the evergreens. We decided it was time to finally map out the hundreds of acres we lived on, just to pass the time during the summer. He was only free in the evenings, so I would spend the day wasting time on dial-up internet and sketching, and then we would rush into the woods, pen and map in hand, before evening fell. Sometimes, the aurora borealis would cast a cold green glow on the mountainside, and we would finish our route underneath a twilight sky. Sometimes I was lonely during those summer days, but there was comfort in the routine.
A lot of teenagers aren't looking for the daily grind, though. There's nothing wrong with wanting to get out, to leave your childhood home. You wanted to progress, to make something of yourself.
Yeah, you're right. That house. I'm sure it's the same as how I left it. Then why does it feel so different?
I doubt you're the only adult to have looked back and asked that question.
なんでこれ今度どこ向かわされてるん？ちょっとなんか雰囲気違うところになってきたけど、大丈夫か？大丈夫かこれ？上がれにゃい、上がれにゃい。あ、ここからやったら上がれる？よっしゃ。上がってもなんもない。なんだなんだ。こっち？あっちかな？あった光る石。 探したぜ。なんかバキバキ言うてるけど、なんだなんだ。え、これ3つとも探し当てたらこの後どうしたらいいんや。なんだなんだ。何かがバキバキ言うてたけども、なんかが分からへんぞ。まあ、さっきのところまで戻ってみようか。さっき道を塞いでた木がなくなった感じ。これで奥行ける？何これ。なんて読むかがわからんぞ。しかも、いけるんかと思ったら行き止まりかいみたいな。どこやねん、ここ。ちょっと。ジャンピング頑張ってくれ。キツネちゃん。めっちゃ滑り落ちる。ウェイウェイ。上がれる道ではなさそうだ。残念ながら。よいしょ。こっちからやったら上がれるな。ほんでこれさっきのとこやんな。何これ、どこ行ったらいいの？なんかもうちょっとヒントないの？あそこなんか光ってるから行くとしたら多分ありやんな。あの山の上とかどうやって上がるねん。さすがにあの距離力技で上がれそうな感じでもないしな。石ある。ということは向こうがルート？光ってたのは何？どこ？これでもさっきのとこやんな。これさっきの石やろ。ちゃうねん。それはええんやけど。 今度これどうしたらいいの？さっきの光を放ってたのはこの石か？
ステージ？
ステージ？ああ、光ってるからかなとも思ったけど、乗っても何にも起こんないんだよな。なんだ、どうしたらいいんだ？早速、この広大な山の中で迷子だよ。進めないんかい。
迷子つらたんはら。
ほんまやで、迷子、ちょっと、誰か道を教えておくれ。これでも石ちゃんと3つとも集めたもんな。あと行けそうなとことかあるか？なんもないな。ちょっと戻ってみようか。なんか見落としてるかもしれないしな。最近はそこ以外で光ってるとこって見えひんもんな。なんかあるか？なんか光ってるな。あれはなんだ？なんかきらびやかやない？これはなんだ？
My dad built a lot of stuff in his free time. If he wasn't watching fly fishing or reading Tom Clancy novels, he was carving
なんか
something.
の痕跡。あ、
He
石あ
made
った。あれだ。
tons of birdhouses. Not that he was into bird watching, but I think he really missed working and adding on to the home. If he couldn't afford the time to build onto our own house, he would have to settle with watching birds move into their little homes. We kept an old mattress in the bed of that ugly yellow truck, so we would drive it deep into the woods and then watch the birds fly into their houses while the sun set. Usually it was accompanied by venison jerky or a cold Coke, but not a lot of talking, which is how we both liked it.
I did want to do something a little different with this level. I wanted it to be more open world feel, and that there was something blocking your progress, so it did encourage people to look closely and see how to unlock this blocked way. And I do like just walking around this level and listening to the beautiful music by Josh Kramer. His work really sets the mood for the whole game.
オープンワールドがどうのとか美しいミュージックがどうのってなんかさっき耳にしたような覚えがあんねんけど、はい6人目いらっしゃい。ちょっと待って、絶賛迷子中だよ。これさっき拾ったやつじゃね？なんだこれいっぺん拾ったやつってもう一回拾えんのかな？もしもう一回拾えるんだとしたら普通にさっきのところに戻ってきちゃってるから超迷子なんだよね。
I did want to do something a little different with this level. I wanted it to be more open world feel, and that there was something blocking your progress, so it did encourage people to look closely and see how to unlock this blocked way. And I do like just walking around this level and listening to the beautiful music by Josh Kramer. His work really sets the mood for the whole game.
せやねん、めっちゃ迷子なるやろ。もはや僕も迷子やわ。これ何？あ、これさっきナイフあったとこやな。これ最初の1個目の石やな。あ、やっぱ道開いてたわ。なんだ。この木が邪魔して通られへんかってんな、さっきな。 っしゃ。もうね、方向音痴なワンコにはすげえ辛いわ。マップもないしね。よっしゃ。あったよ、光ってるやつあったよ。
Perpetrator
あ、
stood
なんかいる。
nearby,
なんやあれ。
unfazed, like nothing was wrong. My dad is
う
dead,
ん、キツネ。
and he's never coming back, Rachel. I can tell you these stories, but I can never reminisce with him again. He can never hold a grandchild that we'll probably never be able to have. I can never talk to him again, and I'll never be able to say I'm sorry for everything.
キツネちゃん、これ相方のあれ、キツネちゃんちゃうの？
It was really important to me that the wolf in this story that takes the fox's
でか
cubs,
くね？
that it
だいぶ
wasn't
でかくね、あいつ。
explained at all. Like it's
何々？
just
ちょっと
this
待って。
this entity that's in the
せっかく
background.
キツネちゃんに会え
And
たの
of
にどこ
course,
行く
it's
ね
supposed to
ー？
represent something bigger than a wolf or even the fox. It's supposed to represent like the specter of death, and it doesn't. It comes when you least expect it. There's no justification. He's just there, always watching.
よいしょ。
おや
待って、さっきの大きいキツネちゃんどこ行ったん？待ってー。えらい段階で席降りてるからけど、降りてって大丈夫なんだ。ちょっと。でも石がこっちにあるってことは降りてていいんだろうな。No。わう。さっきのキツネちゃんどこ行ってん？一瞬でおらんくなったけど。めっちゃ急やで、この勾配。ちょっと、これ。あ、なんか石ある。おー、これ上がれんのか？だいぶ下ってきてもうたけど。降りんの楽やけど、登んの難儀。もうほぼ壁。こんなもんもう。これ何？葉っぱやった。の子ギツネのうち今でこれ2人やな。2匹か。あと1匹はこれ葉っぱ？フィールドが広い。何にもない。ただひたすら長い道、何にもない。なんだこれ。どうしたらいいんだ。とりあえず駆け抜ければいいのか。あ、なんか光ってる。あった。あそこ行こう。キツネちゃん大冒険だよ、もう。もはや最初の位置まで戻る元気もなければ戻れる自信もないからね。じゃじゃーん。これはなんだ。
I need to go to bed.
もう寝なきゃな。このことを話すのももう辛いんだ。おやすみ。
Good night.
手紙？ もう語り部さんのお兄さんはあれか、お父さんをどっかで亡くしてるんやな。このキツネちゃんと一体何の関係があるのかよくわからないけれど、キツネちゃんが探し当てていってるのはこのお兄さんの思い出の品ばっかりやな。おおおお、今度は一体いずこへ。へえ、なになになに、めっちゃ水、めっちゃ星空。うお、天の川みたいになってるけど。
Joseph, you can't go to sleep feeling like this. I'm sorry for everything, and I know you need space, but I'm here for you. You don't need to feel so lost.
すげえな。
Joseph, have I ever told you what my mother was
今度
like?
語り部が女の人に変わったぞ。
Hello, my name is Elise
なんか光ってる。
Whaley,
なんだ
and
これ。
I was the voice actress for Rachel. I'm also David's wife.
バリ光って
So
るやん。
that
何やこれ。
was convenient for working together.
鹿
I was actually the voice actress for his first game, Home is Where One Starts, and I guess that I did a good enough job that David wanted me back, so
何何
I did the voice acting for this one as well. David definitely coached me through it because I'm pretty inexperienced when it comes to that. Home is Where One Starts was my first time ever doing voice acting of any kind. And we watched a lot of trailers of movies we liked to get the voice right of female leads who were talking in the trailer and try to mimic that and bring that into the game. So that had the right kind of feel and the right kind of atmosphere for the voice. My character actually is the same character from Home is Where One Starts. If you've played that game, you probably connected that together. And this is her probably about 15 years later, maybe 20 years later, in this game. I was happy to revisit the character of Rachel. We kind of leave her in an ambiguous spot in Home is Where One Starts. It definitely ends on a hopeful note, but there's not a lot of details. And in this game, you see that she's able to move on through a lot of her issues that she had from her abusive home and be able to start her own family and start a new cycle without that abuse, which I think is really inspiring.
You know what it's like not to have a mom at
母
home,
親が家にいないこと
and you know how hard that made
そ
my
してそれが
childhood.
子供の頃、おー、ちょっと
What
待って、なん
helped
か
me
景
was
色が出て
watching
き
the
た。
birds in the morning before the school bus came. I thought that my mother was one of those birds,
天の川終わ
and
り。
it made me want to be free like her. My mom taught me how to fold origami cranes while she was in the hospital. So I told myself I would fold one every day until
Really?
I could fly myself.
お母さん鳥、オッケー。
So it's always interesting working with your spouse because, especially on a creative project, because they want your feedback, but it's something that's also dear to their heart, and they're dear to your heart, and you definitely don't want to hurt their feelings. So I was a little nervous when David asked me, he had finally finished writing the script, and he asked me to go over it and see what I thought. And I had minored in English. I majored in art, but I minored in English, so I felt like I had a little bit of experience. But I was definitely like a little scared because you don't want to be too harsh, but you also want to be honest. And it was the biggest relief when I read the script, and I was like, oh, good. My husband's a good writer. I don't have to change that much about this, just a few like grammatical things. And that was just like the biggest relief for me because it can be a tricky balance working with your spouse and making sure that that honesty is there, but also that love and the support is there as well.
気のせいか。
So we're talking about Home is Where One Starts a lot, so if you haven't played that game, maybe this doesn't make as much sense, or maybe this is a little plug that you should go play it. But in that game, it actually features one of my artworks. I work as an artist, and paper cutting actually, and David used one of my artworks as a graffitied stencil in Home is Where One Starts that's against the wall of this shack. And it actually shows up again in the first tree, just a fragment of it. The first tree, the title actually comes from one of my artworks that I made back in 2015, I want to say. And I made this artwork while I was pregnant with our first child. And it had a lot of meaning for me, and David actually helped me come up with the title. And he asked because I was really struggling. I was like, I have no idea what to call this, and I always go to David for title ideas and to bounce ideas off of him, and that's like the only way I can ever come up with a title is by talking with him. So we were talking back and forth and looking at this artwork, and he said, well, what kind of like movies or shows were you watching while you're making the artwork? Because my work's pretty tedious, so sometimes I'll watch a show or do some Netflix binging while I'm creating it. And I was like, oh, I actually watched Tree of Life a ton. And then we're like, Tree of Life, and we started thinking more about that, and then arrived at the first tree. So it started off as one of my artworks and then became a part of David's art, which I think is really cool that we were able to share that title.
You have strength, Joseph, and you're not as alone as you think.
It's all just so pointless. Just waiting for life to happen. It's like having the home I always wanted is cursed out of my reach. The thought of being a parent myself. How could I do that when I couldn't even be a good son? I'm sorry. I know what you're saying. I just don't know how things will work out. These quiet hours will turn into years. We'll wonder which roads passed us by.
Then we'll forge a new road together. Besides, I discovered for myself that one fateful morning where any hopeful road leads to. There may be thorns in this, but it always leads to the same thing.
And what's that?
Family.
I'm so glad that you're part of my family, Rachel.
And I'm glad you're part of mine.
A question I get a lot is why a fox? And it ties into just how important family is for me. And Fox is actually a family name from my wife's side, from Elise. And she always heard about the legacy of the Fox family. And because of that, growing up, it was her favorite animal. She even made these 2 wooden foxes for our wedding cake toppers. So I thought it would be cool to have that animal in the game while these 2 people are having this conversation in the middle of the night.
おお、なんだなんだ、でかい鹿。角光ってる。獅子神様みたいになってるよ、自分。強そう。つうか、でかいわ。えらいでかいな。そんなサイズ感なん、これ。でかっ。バリでかいやん。獅子神様やろ、もう。なになに。あ、なんかめっちゃバンビみたいな走り回ってるけど。突然の鹿の楽園。
スマートな鹿。
ね、なんだこりゃ。あっちこっちに鹿いる。怖え。やべえ、キツネどっかで襲われるんじゃないかな。大丈夫か。小鹿ですらキツネよりでかい。怖い。めっちゃ角光ってるやん。ちょっと鹿何してるん。
乗れないやつか。
乗れないやつやな。いやでもなあ、あれやな、キツネが唐突に鹿にまたがりだしたらどうしようってなるけど。なんかツイッターでそんなゲームあったやん。鹿やったかシマウマやったか忘れたけど。
ヨッシーみたいにならないか。
ディットユーえらいこっちゃやろ。一応4足歩行同士やからな。っていうかさっきの大きいキツネは一体どこ行ったんや。 ってるのはわかるけど、道が。あと5個。あと5個で100個やぞ。これ何個集めたらええんや？太陽が眩しい。めっちゃなんか飛び石みたいになってるやん。これ上がれんのかな。またしてもこの足元がおぼつかないワンコにそういうことさせる。よいしょ。よいしょ。よいしょ。よいしょ。頭打った。よし。よし。よし。あと2つ。あと1つ。てか100個どころじゃないな。まだめっちゃあるな、これほな。100個とりあえず到達やな。なんだ、また暗くなってきたぞ。どこ行くんや？突然のローディング。なんだなんだ、今度どこ行ったらいいんだ？とりあえず小狐ちゃんがあと1匹どっかにいるはずやな。なんかまた悲しそうな BGM なってるし、めっちゃ雨降ってるし、なんだよ。
The fox knew her last cub would be waiting for her at the first tree. She was almost
あ
there.
っち渡らなあかんのか？
The rain cascaded onto the jade valley where the entrance to the tree was. Life was protected there, because that's where life began. It was now only a mother and a daughter left. Items from my life still dotted the ground as she moved closer to her destination and destiny.
よいしょ。おー、なんか光ってる。またしてもめちゃめちゃ雨降ってるし。あった、今度あれやな。おうち大丈夫か？足折れへんか、キツネちゃん。結構高いとこ無事やな。高さが足りない。よし。
Usually what catches people's attention of the first tree is the visuals, of course. And I was inspired by a lot of people making these levels. The second level is inspired by just these beautiful autumn photos of a real forest. And this level, the Jade Valley, is inspired by the artwork of Heather Penn, who did the Overland games. I just love those greens with a lot of gray in it. I love the strong vignettes in the corners of the frame. And of course, this environment pack was made by the very talented Swedish designer Mikael Gustafsson. And of course, his initial designs inspired me, and I was able to build off of that. And I'm really grateful that he allowed his environment pack to be made publicly available.
どこに行けばいいかわかんないときはちょっと高いところに登って見てみるっていうのが大事なんだけど、あっちも1箇所光ってるし、あっちも1回光ってるな。1箇所どころじゃないな、3箇所ぐらい光ってんな。 行けばいいのか。手前のやつは多分今拾ったやつやから、よし、あっち行ってみよう。一体何を集めなあかんやろな。お、なんだこれ。猫じゃらしみたいなのカラフル版めっちゃいっぱい咲いてる。なんだっけ、エノコログサとか言うんだっけ、猫じゃらし。お、また石が。ちょっと後で拾おうか。これ拾ってから。よいしょ。
By now, you've probably caught on to some of the themes I love to explore in these stories. And the big one is of this tree, the first tree on Earth. And a lot of people have asked me, what does that mean? Why a tree? And basically, it boils down to this delicate balance between nature and its relationship with life and death. And I love these stories where they put like these microscopic relationships, like something of like a father and a son, and juxtapose it next to this epic story of like the creation of the universe and the first tree on Earth, and how they can be equally as important, because in my mind, like, my family is as important as like the creation of the earth. And it reminds me of like some of the stories I love, like The Road by Cormac McCarthy, or The Tree of Life by Terrence Malick. Basically, I wanted to make sure the player felt that there was a higher power than themselves, and that there was something watching over them as they went through this story.
なんかこのゲームのタイトルのついたボーナストラックやったけど、何言うてるか全然わからんかった。何？病院のベッド。なんだ。あまりよろしいものではないよね。今度語り部がさっきのお兄さんから今度お姉さん、レイチェルっつったっけの方に変わったから、レイチェルのお母さんの話なのかな。よいしょー。よいしょ。
Was that the last time you talked to him?
No, I called on holidays, and he would call on my birthday. I guess we acted like nothing ever happened, which was stupid. Didn't want to ask about his lumberyard, and I'm sure he didn't want to ask about my job search. I never went back and visited. I think the last conversation we had was about what movies we had seen, and what exactly a best boy is in the credits. I thought he would be here so much longer.
せやな、そんなもんやで。あれや、よく言われたけど、いつまでもあると思うな親ってやつだっけ、なんだっけ。なんだ。突然動けなくなった。
In the distance, The first tree illuminated the wasteland.
狼くんとここ
She
ぎつねちゃ
couldn't
んじ
go
ゃないの
home
かい
anymore.
3匹
She
目
did the only thing she was capable of,
わー
moving forward. My dad died alone in the middle of the
真っ
wilderness.
暗や真っ暗になってい
I
く
should have been talking to him more. I should have done a lot of things differently.
おきつねさんすげえしょんぼりしてる真っ暗やないか
If the first tree on earth brought life with it, if it taught the birds to sing and fly and showed saplings how to grow,
怖い赤くなった怖い怖い
what could it do for us?
Obviously, there's a really emotional part, but I'm gonna talk through it
ラス
anyway.
トステップ何エンディ
A
ング
lot
な
of
のも
people
う
correctly identify that Journey was like a huge inspiration for the first tree. And this part, it is like a callback to that part where you're climbing up the mountain with your friend you don't know, and it just gets snowier and snowier, and you just keep going, and then eventually you collapse. And that part, that made a huge impact on me. And I don't even own a PlayStation 3 or 4. I rented a PlayStation from like a rent-a-center right after completing Home is Where One Starts, just because I'd heard so much about it. And everyone was right, it was a very impactful game, and it definitely inspired the first tree.
There was a letter I received yesterday from a name I didn't recognize, with a quote I
死
can't
は
stop
生
thinking
の
about.
生の反対ではなくその一部
Death
である
is not the opposite of life, but a part of it. More and more, I'm realizing one important truth. Each of us have our own journey to the first tree. But sometimes I'm not sure I'm ready to take that first step.
You already have my love.
木の根っこが太いきつねちゃんも超しょんぼりしてるやんもうずっとうつむいてんねんけど何があってこのキツネちゃんのところの子ギツネちゃんたち3匹はあんなところに横たわってたんだ最初の木は目を覚まし子供たちに最後にもう一度だけ伝えたいメッセージがあるかをキツネに優しく尋ねる彼女はこう答えるあなたの答えをここに入力してくださいあ、集めてきた声光の火事だけ文字が打てるってことあ、そういうことおお、119文字えらい子供たちに最後にもう一度だけ伝えたいメッセージがあるは、ほうあなたの答えをここに入力してくださいはいえなんて入れたらええんこれそもそもなんであの子たちがああやってなってたのか全然理解できてへんからなんて言うていいかが分からへんぞどうしようもうとりあえずあ、そうかこっちかエイリアンアイソレーションのアイソレーション残ってるしアンティルドーンのアンティルも残ってるとりあえずありがとうでいいと思うよ短いかなもうちょっといっとくかこんな感じでどうでしょうか短いかな なんだなんだ。ああ、キツネちゃん消えた。何やってん。
I guess her journey was over. But I have no idea. It was only a dream. A distraction from tomorrow.
I don't think dreams normally bring back to memory so many important feelings. Maybe it was just a dream, but it was also a gift.
Yeah, I suppose. But tomorrow we're getting on a plane to the last place on Earth I want to be. The only person that would have made the trip worth it is gone.
You're going to see him and be with him one last time before you say goodbye. I have one last quote for you by Emerson, sealed in an imaginary letter from me to you. It is the secret of the world that all things subsist and do not die, but only retire a little from sight and afterward return again. Go to sleep, my love. We have a big day tomorrow, but I'll be there with you every step of the way.
Thank you. Thanks for listening. Good night, Rachel.
Good night, Joseph.
なんか最初から最後までなんかほの暗い感じのお話やったね。ローディング中。あれじゃあそうか。めっちゃ長文打とうと思ったら全部の石集めとけばめっちゃ打てるってことやな。6ヶ月後、めっちゃ飛んだ。いきなり半年後。なんだなんだ。え、何今度何？家の中？お、突然の人間視点。どうしたなんだなんだ。え、何？こう、お突然なんか別ゲーみたいになったけど、どうした？何かがピー言うてる。なんだなんだ。とりあえず外出よう。びっくりした。何これ。What the? ほんまそれ。What the? これ何？
You're probably thinking, what is going on? And that was definitely my intention for this epilogue part of the first tree. This is my favorite part. This is the part I'm most proud of. And it definitely, it's supposed to evoke this, what is going on? Where am I? I was not expecting this. When I was marketing and blogging about making the game, I never showed anyone this part. I never told anyone. I never shared screenshots. I wanted it to be a complete surprise. And I also wanted it to feel a little creepy because it's totally inspired by those nights where you wake up in the middle of the night and you can just hear the sound of the wind outside the house and you can't sleep. So you walk around in this twilight stupor. And I would say the whole first part of this game where you play as the fox, its whole purpose is to set up for this conclusion. So yeah, I would encourage you to look around and see how many things you recognize from the earlier part of the game. I tried hard to foreshadow this epilogue just because I wanted it to be a surprise, but I didn't want it to feel too out of place that it would be humorous. And so Joseph, earlier in the game, he would say things like, I felt like I was right behind the fox the whole time. In my mind, the camera perspective acts as a metaphor for who the player is, what they're seeing. If the camera represents Joseph, or just like that video game trope of having the camera follow you. I guess the big question I wanted the player to ask themselves, is this a dream as well? And if so, does that even matter?
鍵を探してこなきゃいけない？それともこれもぴょんぴょんしたらできる？あ、ぴょんぴょんしたらいけそうだ。ぴょんぴょんしよう。ぴょんぴょんしよう。なんか挟まった感あるぞ。
新しい。
新しいだ。なんだなんだ。てかなんかめっちゃ電話鳴ってる感があるやん。なになに？ぴょんぴょんしても超えられなかったよ。 なんだなんだ。今度何？ずっと電話鳴ってるけど、どこ？どこで電話鳴ってるん？何何？なんす？裏口。いや、開かない。なんだよ。何これ？ガレージ？おう、車あるやん。乗っていこうや。開かへんのかい。てか、なんかずっと電話鳴ってるけど、マジどこさ？電話はどこだ？これじゃないもんな、鳴ってんの。風呂？いや、何？突然ほんまに違うゲームやねんけど、何？ずっとなんかピーって言うてるけど、このピーが一体どこで鳴ってんのか全然わからへんねんけど。ね、これ。てかこれあれやんな。さっき森の中に捨ててあった電子レンジとか棚やんな。今度だからどこ行けばいいのこれ。っていうか、柵の鍵どこよ。なんだよ、なんだよ。わかんないぞ。マジでどこ？とりあえず駆け出してみよう。なんかあるかもしんない。何があるかな？何があるかな？なんだ？ワオーン。ワオーン。どこやどこや？なんだなんだ。ワオーン。だいぶ近いな。どこや？なやこれ。今度何？これは何？ガレージ？ガレージ。ガレージ。パキー言うてる。なんだ？なんだよ。何にもないじゃないかよ。もうこれで終わりかと思ったらなんかわからんけど、廃車。なんだなんだ。待って、どこ行ったらいいの？こっちじゃない。オッケー。見えない壁に阻まれるからこっちでもない。ここも降りられない。なんだ？どこだ？今度何？こっちか？なんか柵がしてあるけど、これ柵は一体何？柵より外に出たらあかんってこと？なんだよなんだよ。全然わかんないな。鳴き声が後ろになったな。おう、なんか光ってる。でもなんでここ住めへんの？どういうこと？壁がある。なんだよ。せっかく光が見えたのに、そこに行けないなんて、どういうことだってばよ。うわー、よし、詰まった。なんだなんだ。おきつねちゃんみたいにご利用しはできないんだな。待って、なんで降りられへんのこれ。高すぎる？人間で降りるには、あれか、今度は高さが問題か？なんだよ、どこ行けばいいんだよ。 絶対わかんないな。なんかないわけ？うんうんうんうん、何にもないな。地図とかもないし、できること狐の時と変わらへん。わかんねえ。なんだなんだ。今度も柵がしてあるし、ここ帰ってきちゃったやん。マジわかんねえ。何これ。どこ行けばいいの？何これ。テント？さっき出てたテントのマークは一体何やったんや？そのテントを探せってこと？上がれない、上がれない、上がるんだ。無理か。いた。テントなんかあったか？家具？なんだなんだ。乗れない。
何も見えないね。
ね、何にもないし、何にもわかんないし、ヒントもねえし、なんなんだよ。唯一光ってたところ行けるかなと思ったらいけないし。ここにもね、見えない壁があって降りれないんだよね。行けそうなとこってさっきの柵のところと、このよくわからないさっきの山小屋みたいなところ2箇所しかないんだけど。意味もなく泣くわけじゃないんだろうから、このワオーン言うてんのをちょっと追っかけてみたいけれども、どこで泣いてるかもわからんしやな。車やろ？ これ以上奥に行けない。これもこれ以上奥に行けない。絶対下れるのにな。ここに絶対壁があるんだよな。なんなんだよ。これも右側行けないんだよな。ずっと壁沿いに今歩いてんだけど。わかんねえ。何これ何これさっきの子だやんな。マジで何にもないんだけど。いきなり全然わかんなくなったぞ。この柵からもこういけないし。ダメだ、わからん。なんだ。じゃあこの柵越えたら全然道ありそうなのになんでこの先怒りやんの？柵が越えられない。これかテント。おお、テントあったよ。これ何？テント見っけたけど今度これどうしたらいいの？お、何これ？キャンプ椅子。めっちゃホタル飛んでるやん。お、ちょっと進めたんじゃね？これはこっち行けるんか？頼むぞ。壁何の壁だよこれ。なんかしないと進めないのか？でもさっき言ってたテントこれだよね。何したらいいのこれ。何も別にボタンで触れるとかもないんだけど。そしてめっちゃ光があるのに謎の壁。なんだ謎の壁。全力で壁。くそー。なんで進めないんだよ。全然道続いてんじゃんよ。おお、入った。なんだ、入った。突然のキャンプ。
What the hell?
一体なんだ？おお、ほんで出られるのか。ほんで追っかけられるんやな。おお、そういうことか。これを見ないといけなかったんやな。壁なくなった。よっしゃ、いけいけ。待って、白いキツネさん待って。この子全力疾走してもこんなもんなの。
I purposefully fade out the crosshair in the middle of the screen because I wanted it to be a direct callback to the camera following the fox in the first 5 levels of the first tree. I wanted it to go for that gut reaction that this was very familiar yet totally in a different world.
待って、夜が明けちゃうと白いキツネの光が見づらい。ちょっと待てー。キツネちゃん足速いわ。もうちょっとこっちを振り返って。人間そんな速く走れないよ。 ばい、見失う。はよう。人間はよう。ああ、見失った。もう、マジかよ。ちょっと待て。どこ消えてん。あ、いたいたいたいた。ダッシュダッシュ。ダッシュダッシュダッシュダッシュ。待って、待って、頼むから待って。やべえ、キツネちゃんまた見失う。足速えって。帰り道大丈夫か。もう迷子やぞ。入れた。
What is this?
またしてもファーストツリーだ。
Thank you for making it to the end of my game, and I hope you enjoy the personalized message that is featured on the trunk of this tree. It's a message submitted by another player that's retrieved from a database, and it's retrieved at random. And I did this because I wanted people, even if they feel alone through trials of death, that there is a community, an invisible community supporting each other. So thanks for playing.
ってことは、あの子さっきの子やったんやな。おお、エンディング。エンディングロールでした。昨日今日とあれだね、だいぶ単発なものが多いね。はい。というわけで、これでエンディングかな。何？オンラインベースにコメントを提出したいですか？他のプレイヤーにはランダムに表示される可能性があります。可能であれば、英語を使用し。はい。いや、なんと途中やな。これ翻訳がすごい途中やな。さっき言ったやつやろ。別に使ってもいいよ。大丈夫。別に変なことは書いてないからね。はい。というわけでね、これでエンディングということでございます。 いやー、なんつうか、不思議なゲームだったね。というわけで、明日からはね、タイポマンということで、また新しいゲームをしようかなと思いますんで、もしよかったら見てください。ありがとうございました。おやすみなさい。